So the World Economic Forum just came out with their Future of Jobs 2025 report. और इस वीडियो में I'm gonna deep dive into the report and talk about how does the future holds for us working as remote workers या फिर people who are looking to get into remote work. So just grab a coffee, settle in, and let's deep dive into the report. So this report has been prepared after gathering data from 1,000 global companies, about 22 different industries, 14 million workers, and about 55 different countries. So we already know the scale of this report, the scale of the research that has been done into this report. So this data definitely holds a lot of value and will definitely tell us what will be the future of work for us. As you know, everybody has been talking about how a lot of jobs are going to go because of different factors like AI, climate change. But the good news that this report has to say is that about 170 million new jobs will be created in the next 5 years, out of which 92 million jobs will be disappearing, which are there already in today's date, and which basically means that about 78 million more jobs will be available than there are from today. So that means there is a growth in about 78 million jobs. So that is definitely good news. But let's go ahead and see what other factors does this report has to say about remote jobs and remote work. So the first thing that I did when I opened up this report was to just search remote work keyword, and I was able to see that it was mentioned for about 45 times in this report, which basically means that remote work had a huge importance in this report. And you can see remote work being mentioned in different places about how that there are going to be law changes around remote work, how offering remote work across national borders will be the biggest preference. And one of the best things that I found was there are different charts for each of these countries, different countries, and how the work will impact and what different factors will be impacting work. And most of the countries had this line which says changes to the labor laws related to remote work. So basically, which means that a lot of countries are changing their labor laws to include and get more inclusion of remote work, so people in these countries can actually work remotely. Because I think major countries never had this idea of remote work. Yeah, it was not that popular before COVID. People used to go to office, but now as remote work has gotten more popular, and as different countries are seeing and different companies are seeing the benefits of remote work, how it's more beneficial for the employer, for the employee's mental health, as well as even for the company and for countries to attract better talent. The report basically says to improve the talent availability, the industry is planning on investing in reskilling and upskilling 71% of employers, supporting employees well-being and improving promotion processes. Remote and hybrid work is also seen as a strategy to stay attractive for 58% of companies in the industry. And one out of the two respondents is calling for changes to labor laws that support remote work, compared to 36% in other sectors. The industry is particularly advanced in its plans to remove even the degree requirements in favor of skills based hiring approaches, 28% compared to 19% across all industries, which basically means that even laws might be changed to remove the degree requirements and just use skills as the only way to hire people. And there is a huge push definitely for remote and hybrid work culture to be get even more spread out. So as per the report, there will be a huge growing demand in the digital and the AI jobs that we have today, with the top four being big data specialists, fintech engineers, AI machine learning specialists, software and application developers. These four roles are at the top, and they will see a huge number of jobs being available in the next 5 years. And I was actually surprised when I saw software and application developers being at the top four, because all everyone on the internet is right now saying that software engineers will not be needed. Meta coming in saying that they will remove all their mid-level engineers. But this report says different things. It says that about 60%, almost 60% growth will be seen in the next 5 years. And I think I do believe the report, because when AI gets more widespread and AI is being used by more software engineers and developers, then the cost of making software and the timelines that we make or use to create software will go down, which means that now the world will need more software, and we'll see software apps, websites everywhere. So which basically at the end means that we'll need more software engineers. That's why I think the growing demand is definitely valid over here. And also in the top 10 is also UI and UX designers, which also says that there'll be about 45% growth in the amount of jobs that will be available for UX designers. So if you see, as per the chart, the top four roles are all remote friendly roles, which definitely means that there'll be a lot more remote jobs. People will get more remote jobs, more remote opportunities, and depends on more companies. But this definitely shows a good picture on how more remote jobs will be available in future. So the report also says that more and more companies are looking forward to create a global talent pool rather than talent pool that is specific to their country, and that is only possible after you have more remote people. Because if there's a small company in North America that wants to hire people in India or in any other country, they are only going to do it remotely. So that definitely means that it's a good thing for remote workers. The report basically says that the future of job survey also finds that adaptation of diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives remain on the rise. The potential for expanding talent availability by tapping into diverse talent pools is highlighted by four times more employers, 47%, than 2 years ago. Diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives have become more prevalent, with 83% employees reporting such an initiative in place and comparing to 67% in 2023. So, which basically means that a lot more companies are looking to create more diverse teams and more inclusive teams, which definitely means that there'll be much better opportunities which will be available out there. So the report also talks a lot about green transition and climate change initiatives and how different governments are pushing for more and more climate change initiatives to be driven by the companies, and why should companies also focus on decreasing their carbon footprints. And I've already seen a few examples where a lot of companies have bring down the capacity of their offices from about 100 or 150 people to just 50 people, and kind of shuffling people from different days of weeks so that they can come to office, which definitely decreases the carbon footprint that that company has, and to just come and be into the norms with climate change. So as more climate change initiatives grow, more green transition grows, I think a lot more roles will move to remote. All the roles that are still kind of into the phase of that they have to go to office, companies will find ways to move them remote or move them offshore, and which definitely means that more remote roles will be created, and companies will get more remote friendly as more climate change initiatives are going to be there. Because definitely remote work saves a lot of things. It saves fuels for the employees which have to who have to come to office every day. It saves the energy cost for the offices, because even if there are like two employees, the office has to operate on full scale with all the air conditioners going, all the electricity going. So definitely being more remote friendly helps companies to be more carbon friendly and also match and decrease their carbon footprints. So I think that should be a good news for us as well as for environment as well as for earth. So remote work will definitely save earth, that is what I believe. So let's just push more for remote work. So another really interesting thing that this report mentions is all the core skills that will be needed in the next 5 years, or all the core skills that will be on the top and prioritized by companies to hire people, are analytical thinking, resilience, flexibility, agility, leadership and social influence, creative thinking, motivation, and self awareness are top five core skills that are needed in the next 5 years. The report says creative thinking and motivation and self awareness rank fourth and fifth, respectively. This combination of cognitive, self efficacy, and interpersonal skills within the top five emphasizes the importance described by respondents to having an agile, innovative, and collaborative workforce, where both problem solving abilities and personal resilience are critical for success. And I think these core skills become even more important when you're out there looking for a remote job, because now, if you're in a remote job, the company is looking for someone who is more collaborative, someone who has more soft skills, and someone who can think creatively, because now you're not working in office, you're not brainstorming in office. And I think these core skills are even more important when you go out to find a remote job or you're working in a remote job, because now the companies who are offering remote jobs will want their employees or people who are working remotely around the world to be more collaborative, to have more creative thinking and motivation and self awareness kind of skills, because that will definitely help in the growth of the company. So I think these skills are something that also you should definitely focus on, because these skills will definitely get more important. And the World Economic Foundation's The Future of Jobs report also says that. And if you want to know more about which soft skills are needed for remote jobs, to find better remote jobs, you can check out the earlier video I made on the soft skills for remote job, or a person if you're working in a remote job. So that definitely video might help you. So that's all for this video, and these are all the points that I found out were really important to know how remote work will evolve and what is the future of remote work. And thanks a lot if you're still watching the video till here. And if you found this video a little bit helpful, then do subscribe to my channel and do leave a like. See you in the next one, and bye bye.